After the event that I had at my house a few months ago, where I realized that some of my optics weren't as what I needed them to be, I went ahead and decided to get a little bit more practice, a daily carry type weapon. I bought another Glock 17. I went ahead and started putting stuff on it. In one of my other videos, you can see I put a light with a laser on it. That really doesn't help me in this competition type stuff, which I'm not really using it as a competition. I'm really learning about myself, about what I'm doing wrong with grip and all that type of stuff. Even though I've been in law enforcement my whole entire life, I realize that I can still learn. And I think a lot of y'all that either are just getting into this type of sport or want to get into it can learn a lot from me, which I have been in it most of my life as far as law enforcement, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't practice a lot. We don't practice a lot of reloading on the move and all this type of stuff. Whereas this type of shooting stuff from the USPSA, and I'm sure there's a lot of other ones, can help you get that type of training where you're going to be loading, moving, deciding on targets, all that type of stuff. It's really a great opportunity for me to help you and for me to help me, because I am learning stuff every week from these pros. I am not a pro whatsoever at all. I'm an amateur, and amateur is like getting at a good grade because there's so much I have had to learn from this. And it's really helping me, and it's not only helping me be able to take care of myself better, but it's also making sure that that weapon that I have is ready at all times. Let's get this video started. RoadHardRoadhouse is sponsored by Finley River Towing and Speedy's Industrial Coatings in Ozark, Missouri. Speedy's does all your media blasting and powder coating. Big or small, they do it all. Finley River Towing takes care of all your high-end to low-end towing needs. Call Finley River Towing if you're in the Ozark or Branson area. Tell them the RoadHardRoadhouse sent you. Today on the RoadHardRoadhouse, I'm going to do something a little bit different than I've done before, and it's because it's something brand new to me. I have joined a USPSA shooting type event where I use a carry optics pistol. Hank and I are going to go through this video series with you, and this is the first one out of all of them, and it's going to be showing you what I've learned after each meet. Usually there's stuff that I learned from these pros every time I go. So even when I'm talking to a buddy of mine, Kirk Broyles, I'm telling you what, he is a pro, and he is a real pro at it. And he's even sponsored by a bunch of people that I can't even tell you all of them right now. But I will say this, he has taught me a bunch of stuff. And then when I sit there and other people come up to me and they're saying, hey, well, you could do this a little bit better and you could do that. And you know what? I take every single one of those people's information and ideas, and I take them to heart, because I'm not a professional at this and I want to be a lot better. And when you're going through this and you've got a whole entire life of law enforcement and people start telling you what to do, you can take it one of two ways. You can take it the bad way, and that you know everything because you've been in law enforcement for 20-something years, and that's not going to help you whatsoever at all. You can take it the other way and learn from this experience, and you're going to actually learn things that are going to not only help you on the job if you're still in the job, but it's going to help you in life as well. And I'm telling you what, I have got a lot to learn. I'm going to go through a lot of the stuff that I bought for the weapons, my carrying cases and all that type of stuff I'm putting in my rig. The first thing I bought was a Glock 17. I wanted a little bit longer barrel. I've already got a Glock 45 at the house, but I wanted to have a little bit longer barrel because I am actually shooting at targets which may be up to 25 yards away, maybe sometimes more, sometimes less, a lot less. Sometimes it's like 6 feet in front of me. So I wanted to get a weapon that could shoot a little bit further where I did not have to worry about it as much. Granted, I love my Glock 45 and I keep it as a daily carry, but I wanted a weapon that I could have that would be more of just a competition and more of a home weapon. I put a light on it at first. Right here, it's from Olight. I did a video on it. I think I've done 2 videos on it. It really is a good lighting system if you had some home intruder. I love it. They don't make too many holsters for it, so that's the one down point of this Olight. But the Olight is really a good light, and I really like it so far. I've done a couple of videos on it. You can probably take a look at my playlist, and you can see those videos. The second thing I did before I even did my first event was I got the Holosun optic. It is a HE407C. I got the optic because I wanted to learn optic type stuff, and it was a learning curve for me. I had a lot of issues with it at first. In fact, I needed to get suppressor sights on the front and back in order for me to be able to catch on to where the dot is, red dot, green dot, whatever. I got a green dot system here, but so where I could put it a third above my front sight. That way I knew where it was at, and I shoot a lot better this way. Suppressor sights. I got these suppressor sights put on the night before my first event, and I will tell you, it was not the best event for me. I had a terrible time trying to figure it out. I came home, and the things I learned is dry fire. Broyles taught me dry fire. Dry fire all day if you need to. And he dry fires, even though he's a pro, he still dry fires. I did not have very long to dry fire this new setup on the sights. I think I had maybe I got it back within one night of the event. So I did not have very long. I wasn't very prepared for my first event. I was preparing for an event that was in October, and this was September. So I was not ready whatsoever at all. And the problems I had during this event were magazine changes, had magazine drops, my magazine release was hard to find, and I had to move my whole hand in order to press it to eject magazines while I'm on the run. My sights, and that's it. So 4 problems on my first event. Let me show you how I fixed those. As far as the sights go, I went ahead and re-zeroed in my red dot for these suppressor sights. I wanted my red dot to be about a third above this front sight picture inside the Holosun. So I did that, and then I became a lot more reliable on my shots. To fix the mag changes, I went ahead and bought a eBay mag extension flare, and I think I paid, I don't know, $15. I don't think I paid more than $20 for it. I just don't see why I needed an $80 one. They have some really nice stuff that's about $80, and I didn't see how I could benefit from that right now. I wanted to spend more money on other stuff on this weapon, so I put a $20 eBay special on here. I'll leave a link down in the description. As I go on throughout this, if I feel like I need another one, I'll buy it. But as of right now, that's where I went with this one right now. I'll explain how it worked after my next match. You'll see how well these things have worked for me. So I went cheap on that. So the next thing that I did was the magazine. I was having issues with the magazine catch. So what I ended up doing was I bought a Victor's Tactical, where is it here? A Victor's Tactical magazine catch release. And what it did was it extended it out to where I was able to press it a lot easier with my thumb and not have to worry about moving my grip, and which saves me time. So that's the next thing that I did to it. We'll see how it works in the next event that I'll let you know how it went. The next thing I was having issues with, as far as the 4th thing, was dropped magazines. And I carry Dawson Precision or Dawson Industries magazine extensions. And I get about 22, 23 rounds in them. But what I was having issues with, maybe it's because it's so hefty, and I use these on Glock magazines as well. When I was putting it in the weapon, it would seat what I think it would seat, but when I went to aim, it would be dropping out. So how I had fixed that, Broyles actually let me know, Kirk Broyles, he let me know that if I leave one round less than the maximum that this has, I won't have issues with that. So what I do is I carry one less round in than it's the max in here, unless it's my first stage. If it's my first stage and the whole weapon is empty, then I carry a full magazine, slam it in there, rack the slide, and then I go from there. So only the first magazine do I have where this is at capacity. Other than that, I carry one less round in it than it should have. That was a big thing. I practiced with it a lot at the house before coming up to my next event. I've done it quite a few times. I haven't had any more issues with this, but we'll see at an event, because everything that you do at your house when you're sitting there aiming, whatever you're doing is great. But when you get to an event and that little beeper goes off in your ear, everything goes to diddly. Everything that you had planned, I think Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And that's what these events kind of are. As far as gear for my first event, let's go through the gear. I've got an old duty belt that I have. I still got cuffs on there. And I've got a system that I made with Black Hawk magazine holders here, which they're modular, and I put them on these systems here on the back. And I'll get you links to all this type of stuff. I painted my last magazine extension from Dawson Industries. Dawson Precision, I think it's Industries. Sorry if I got your name wrong on these things. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so there may be better suckers than these, but I thought that they looked really cool and they were really easy to put on. So really liked them. They're real easy to clean your whole magazines out and all that type of stuff. So to digress from that, we'll go with, I painted these so that I would know when I got to my last magazine. So that's that. I don't know if anybody else does that, or if anybody else cares, or if I'm just the rookie in this type of competition stuff. But I did it to where I would know something where am I at as far as my last magazine. I have a Black Hawk holster. If you want to know anything more about my holster, you can go ahead and let me know. But this is for a Streamlight light that goes on the Glock 17 with suppressor height sights. I've had really good luck with it, even using the O-Light. So I haven't had any issues whatsoever at all. Even though it's not directly for the O-Light. If you want to know anything more about this, let me know in the comments, and I'll answer you. The ammo that I used for my first event was 200 rounds of Blazer ammunition, 9mm, 115 grain full metal jacket. Had brass case, of course, and I had a lot of issues. I'm not saying it's from the ammo. I'm saying that I may have not oiled my weapon properly before the first firing. I had 0 rounds through it before this first event, and I had a ton of issues. I probably rack tapped probably 15 times during the event. So I learned a few lessons on that. I do have one more thing to say before I finish this up. I had 0 rounds through this weapon, so I went in nervous as heck. I wanted to do this Nobody Fights Alone match for the USPSA up at my boss's range near Lake of the Ozarks. I wanted to do that as my first match, so I wanted to be totally prepared by the time I went to that event, and I wasn't. And I got Kirk Broyles just sitting there going, you got to do this. Just do this. You know, named a couple of cuss words in there at me, but I went ahead and did it because I needed to learn something from this, and I really did. And I'm really glad that I did, because I'm better prepared for this next event. The main thing I want to let you know is you go to these events and people are really pros, and they were really good with me. They did not, complain that, there's this guy that doesn't know what he's doing. I've got an $8,500 gun. He's probably got $1,200 in his Glock. Everybody there is either helping you or trying to help you or giving you good jobs and all that type of stuff. And I was there as a first timer, and there was no reason for them to do that at all. It was really a great event because I learned a lot, and I wasn't, there was no reason for me to feel inferior to these guys that have been doing it for a long time, because they were really all really cool about it. So that's the one thing that I do have to say that I was really impressed with. Thank you all for watching. I hope I didn't bore you to death on this. The other ones won't be as long as this one, because I'm not going to have to go through the whole entire process of how I got started with this and all that type of stuff. So all it's mainly going to be is showing how I've improved, what's happened, and I probably start getting videos out at the range itself. So thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing. Subscribe a lot more for this type of content, and I do a lot of hot rod stuff and man stuff. Thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, and once again, as always, if you ride her hard, don't put her away wet.